The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2, or known as Chapter 10, The Passenger, just dropped on Disney+. And today I'm here to give you my spoiler review of the brand new episode of The Mandalorian on Disney+. Before we get into my spoiler thoughts, my breakdown of this 41-minute long episode, please let me know in the comment section your thoughts, your spoiler thoughts of this episode. Is this one of your favorite Mandalorian episodes, your least favorite Mandalorian episode? Also, let me know your prediction and thoughts of future episodes. Where are we going next in episode 3? Just tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Another great way to support this channel is to hit that like button. I'll tell you some other future things at the end of the video. So let's get into it. Once again, guys, if you have not seen this new episode which dropped today on Disney Plus of The Mandalorian, please don't watch this video. Watch the episode and then come back and watch this review of the show. So I was really pumped. I really liked last week's episode. Back to form. I fell right back into the groove of things. And I would say this episode was a slight step back for me with the show. This is definitely not one of my favorite episodes of the show. A very middle of the ground episode, if I have to say. Now, did I enjoy myself? I sure did. I think Ludwig Göransson's score is fantastic once again. I think this is the Baby Yoda gets a lot more to do this episode. Obviously, his dynamic with eating the eggs of the frog-like creature. But it does kind of feel like a filler episode. While last week was a filler episode, there was a lot of greatness going on in the episode. You meet Timothy Olyphant's character. You get the Boba Fett reveal. It still felt like even though we were on a side mission with the Mandalorian, we were still on story mark. Even though we still haven't seen Carl Weathers, we haven't seen Gina Carano, we haven't seen Giancarlo Esposito, we haven't seen Sasha Banks yet. But this episode felt very much like filler. We go back to Tatooine and Mos Eisley. The opening scene of this episode was fantastic. One of these creatures wants to take the Mandalorian's jetpack, and then once he takes it, what he does with that jetpack, just fantastic stuff in that opening scene. I was like, here we go. What a great start to this episode with our Mandalorian and the child. But then we go back to Mos Eisley, the original cantina, and once again, Amy Sedaris is popping up again. She had one episode. I guess Favreau and the group really liked her in that only episode she was in last season. And she pops in more in this episode than she was in the last episode. But she's back, and she tells him that this frog-like creature, the frog, I'll just say, this lady frog, she knows where her husband knows where the Mandalorians are, but now he has to take her back to her husband, but because she has these eggs, he can't use hyperspeed, so he's going just straight normal flying. And it goes on a pretty much of a side mission. He bumps into some Rebel pilots, and one of them is Dave Filoni. Once again, just a callback to last season. And there's a great just a great flying sequence of those two Rebel ships flying, trying to search for the Mandalorian. That scene was great in that frozen tundra type of place. Not hot. They never told us where we were going this episode. Even we didn't know where the frog wanted us to go this season. So that was all very loosely based. But the episode said The Passenger. I was kind of excited. Who are we picking up and who are we taking with us on this journey this episode? Could it be Boba Fett? Who knows? Could it be Sasha Banks? Who knows? And it became to be this lady frog who has these eggs of hers, and it was definitely a bit of a disappointment, not what I expected for this episode. And also, Peyton Reed directed this episode of The Mandalorian, his first ever episode directing an episode in the show so far. He's known for directing the 2 Ant-Man movies. I knew he was directing something this season, but I don't know who's directing the episodes until the very end credits. So that was fascinating to see. And he did a good job with the episode. This episode was a lot funnier because there's a lot of great banter between the Mandalorian and the child, with the child trying to eat all of the eggs. That was all pretty funny throughout the episode. And it did feel like Star Wars humor, not just plain humor. But not a lot really happened this episode. And this episode, actually, in my opinion, this is one of those episodes that could have been 30 to 35 minutes. This went about 40 minutes. It could have been cut. This episode did drag just a touch, in my opinion. There's sometimes like, oh, well, nothing's really going on. There were some exciting action set pieces that the show offers this episode, but there wasn't just a lot. There was so much action going on, and there was so much more mythology explored in episode 1 of this season, chapter 9. But this chapter 10 didn't really explore that more. You got, so with the Sand People last season, these villagers, we got Mos Pelgo exploration, we got the Boba Fett reveal. This episode, we're just kind of wandering around. We're never told what planet we're going to, what the destination is at the beginning of the episode, where the tundra is. We don't know what planet that is on. But what I did like about this episode was the fact that the rebellion, the rebels, they're kind of the police now. They've won the war, but now they're policing everyone in the Mandalorian. At the end, now he gets saved by the rebels, but the rebels also save him again by saying that he shouldn't be under arrest, but these times are kind of weird, so they're going to let him go, but they're not going to help him get out of the frozen tundra. So I thought that idea was actually done very well by the show. But as a whole, guys, I really wanted a lot more out of this episode. The first episode was really good, and the opening scene of this episode was also great. But it did really feel like a filler episode of The Mandalorian, and I didn't really want that. We're back in the groove of things, and while, yes, is this a bad episode of TV? No. But is it great? No. This is definitely on the bottom tier for me of The Mandalorian so far in Chapter 10. I have not been able to rank all 10 episodes, but this would be definitely in the bottom 5 tier, which is disappointing. Now, I still enjoyed myself. The characters are fun to watch. The action set pieces and the visual effects for the spider creatures and just the planet itself are perfect. But everything else with the episode, man, it just felt like filler. It didn't feel like anything was really important going on because it's not the main story. But I assume soon once we drop off this frog creature, we'll get into the main story. So that's my spoiler thoughts and breakdown of this Mandalorian episode. Once again, before I go, leave me a comment. Your spoiler thoughts. Is this one of your favorite episodes, or do you agree with me? Is this bottom tier Mandalorian in your opinion? Let me know your predictions for the next couple of episodes as well. Also, please leave that like button. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, you can find that in the description down below. Also, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for more videos. Tomorrow, I don't know when, I'm still working on that, but tomorrow I'm interviewing Mike Jackson, who's a very close family friend of mine. But I'll be interviewing him because he is the executive producer of the new Netflix movie Jingle Jangle, which comes out next week. I'll be doing an interview with him tomorrow. I'll be shooting some other videos as of late. I might be watching a new movie on Netflix today. Not sure at the moment. But all those things, I watch The Mandalorian every Friday. I'll be reviewing you guys a spoiler review of The Mandalorian every single Friday. So if you're joining me for the first time, welcome. So hit that subscribe button. And also check out my episode 1 spoiler review that I did last week. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys very, very soon.